We're now being joined by Swati Maliwal of the Delhi Commission for Women on the other big story that we're tracking today, a gruesome incident. A minor has been brutally raped and critically injured in the national capital. This 12-year-old girl has been admitted to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. She's battling for her life currently. Swati, if I can come to you, you've questioned the delay in arrests. 48 hours since this gruesome crime was committed, and there's been absolutely no headway as far as the investigation is concerned.
It is very shameful. I went and met this girl today, and she has very severe injuries. Her vagina, her private parts, they have been completely ruptured. Her intestines have been ruptured, and the kind of fractures that she has sustained on her skull, it's just really painful to see what she is going through right now. And the doctors have told us that they're trying their best, but there is no guarantee that she might not even survive. Such a severe case, such a gruesome case, such a bone-chilling case, and yet the Delhi police has failed to make any arrests. We have issued a notice to the Delhi police DCP, and we want him to appear before us and tell us that why is it that no arrests have happened? What about the CCTV cameras? What about all the neighbors? Have their statements been recorded? This incident has taken place inside the house of that little girl. So how is it that nobody noticed who the man was? What has happened? I think it is really shameful, and Delhi police has a lot to answer.
Well, it's very worrying, Swati, the way you describe the condition of the girl. We're told she's in a critical state. She was first at the Sanjay Gandhi Hospital on the evening of August the 4th when the crime took place. She was later shifted to AIIMS because they could obviously not handle the intensity of the situation. You've also spoken with their family. What are they saying at the moment? What is it that they want?
They're extremely poor and very simple. They work as laborers in a local factory, and all that they want is that their girl should survive. I have met so many survivors. I've met so many victims in my 5 years of tenure as DCW chief, and I will tell you that I have never come across people who are more simple or more needy than these people. And the kind of brutality that has happened against their daughter, it's just too much. So these people are extremely, all that they are wanting from the government as well as from God is to save the daughter, as well as they want that man who is yet to be arrested should be arrested.
Swati, there's also, a fair bit of politics that is already being played over this. We saw there were protests that were staged by the Congress party workers earlier today. There are allegations that are being made against the Aam Aadmi Party government for being in activist mode when they were not in government. But crime against women seems to have taken a back seat now that the Aam Aadmi Party is in government. How do you respond to those allegations?
I think it is very shameful that such issues get politicized. The fact remains that I had sat on a hunger strike, and after my hunger strike, when I was hungry for 10 days, after that hunger strike, a law was passed in the country which said that if a child gets raped, the rapist will be given the death penalty within 6 months.
Yes.
Now that law was passed 2 years back. I had to sit on another hunger strike in order to ensure that that law gets implemented, and yet till now, that law is not being implemented. The center is failing to increase the police resources in the capital, failing to provide accountability for the police, failing to ensure fast-track courts are created in the capital. And until you have such systems which ensure swiftness and certainty of punishment, please tell me how will one create deterrence? So I don't want to politicize it. I just want the center to sit with all the governments in this country and make sure that this law is implemented immediately, which ensures strongest punishment to the rapists of children. That is not being done, to the extent that Delhi police has even failed to arrest these people. It's been 2 to 3 days. This girl is suffering. She might not even survive. How is it that the Delhi police has failed to till now arrest?
Right. Swati, of course, questions have to be asked, in the manner in which this investigation is being carried out. Like you said, this girl comes from an extremely poor family, and we do know that, justice, the wheels of justice turn slower for them. Unfortunately, that's the way it plays out. So definitely questions need to be asked of the Delhi police. But, the other big question that is being asked here is, what has this government done, or what has, say, your department done, Swati, in order to ensure that these stories don't play out as often as they do? Here's a story of a 12-year-old girl who was brutalized. You're describing, just how bad her condition is and just how terrible this crime is. But what can one do to make sure that these stories don't repeat themselves as often as they do?
I think we need to ensure certainty and swiftness of punishment. In our country, the situation is this, that once a girl gets raped by a man or some men, and then the entire system is raping her. Even an 8-month-old baby who was raped 3 years back, even she has not got justice till now. We had to wait for 7 years for Nirbhaya to get justice in this country. So I think what we need to do is we need to ensure proper deterrence, and that can be done through proper systems. There is a law in place. We now need to implement it.
Do organizations like the DCW or the NCW, do you believe that they need to be more empowered? Do you believe these organizations need to be given more teeth?
Definitely they need to be given more teeth, but I also think that all the commissions in this country should also start exercising the teeth that they already have. We have created a rape crisis cell, and ever since this rape happened, my team has been actually there supporting this survivor. Yesterday, we issued a notice to the police, and when I went and saw the condition today myself, I have issued summons to the DCP, and that's not enough. I think that much more needs to be done, and that is why more teeth needs to be given to the commission. But at the same time, what powers we already have, we should start using it. The Delhi Commission for Women in 3 years has handled over 55,000 cases. And if you look at even the National Commission of Women, I don't think that they can give that number even for 20 years. So we are handling 55,000 cases in 3 years. We are attending over 2 lakh calls on our 181 Women's Helpline.
Yes.
70,000 ground visits. Immediately on a 181 Women Helpline, our team immediately reaches the spot. While we are trying to do all of this, the girls are in pain. They are in fear. We are sort of voicing their pain, and at the same time, despite the unshan, despite the hunger strikes, despite the protests, despite raising this voice again and again, the government is not listening. So I think what needs to be done is, instead of empowering, obviously empower us, give us more teeth.
Yes.
What needs to be done is we need to have this voice as a collective voice. The center needs to take the lead in this, get all the governments to sit with it and make sure, and it's not just about Delhi, it is about each and every government in this country. We need to make sure that the laws of the land get implemented, for which we need proper resources and accountability of all organizations, and which is what we need to focus on.
Strong words there, Swati Maliwal, the Chief of the Delhi Commission for Women. Appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Unfortunately, both protest and public memory are very short-lived when it comes to cases like this. There's selective outrage, and then, of course, it's business as usual. A lot really needs to be done on the ground to change this situation. We'll keep a close watch on this story. We'll track every detail of this investigation. Remember, 48 hours on, there's still no arrests that have been made in this gruesome crime that's been committed against a 12-year-old girl in Delhi.